Hey everyone,
Hi.
welcome back to another episode of His and
His and
Hers.
Hers, yes.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Tuan. It's my beautiful wife.
Thank you. My name is Sim. Nice meeting everyone, and thank you for tuning in, those regulars and new people.
Yeah,
Thank
our
you.
loyal viewers and new viewers alike, right? Thank
Yes.
you for coming and joining us on another episode of His
True
and
that.
Hers. And before we get into it, let's do
Uh-huh.
some plug-in, honey. Right?
yeah.
So thank you. Please like this the
Like
video,
it.
right? Subscribe to the
Subscribe.
channel.
Comment.
Right, definitely check out our TikTok channel, right,
here.
at His and Hers YT.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed. I don't know
Yeah.
if you checked it out because
It's
you've been
going
busy.
up.
No, we're starting to post those shorts,
Uh-huh.
right? So check out those little short clips,
Short
guys.
clips.
And we'll start continuing posting. Continue posting more and
Yeah.
more little short clips for you guys.
And thank you. It looks
right?
like a lot of people are sharing, so that's wonderful.
Yes,
Our ratings are going up, so that's awesome that people are starting to be aware, and you
Yes.
guys want to hear the truth, so that's great.
Correct, and that's the
know?
thing. That's the thing. We're very happy, proud, whatever words you want to call it, right? But
Yeah.
we're very happy to see that the truth is spreading out there.
Yeah.
Not really particularly that the channel's getting bigger, even though it's still a really small channel. That's
Yeah.
all good.
Hey,
but the fact that we've gotten a huge increase in subscribers lately, that's good to see that the truth is spreading.
Oh yeah.
So thank you guys for doing
Thank
that.
you.
Right.
Awesome.
And of course, lastly, turn on the notification bell, right? So that way you
So you
get notified when we
ding.
post new
Yeah.
content, shorts or the full
Or
videos.
the full video. Yeah.
Speaking of full videos,
Okay.
today we have a really good topic, right?
Okay.
And it's gonna hit home with today's current, obviously, trend and obviously current topics of today, right?
Okay.
Because we're dealing with modern society.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys can see on the board, the topic that my wife and I are gonna discuss today is modern women lack potential. All right, and I'm putting obviously a very clear distinction between modern, modern women,
Oh, yeah.
and obviously traditional women from the past. Okay, so what is your initial thoughts on this topic, honey? As
We
always.
already know in most of our videos, guys, if you've been tuning in, is hey, go get your bag, girl. A lot of women right now are trying to act like men, and and that's not. I'm trying to tell you right now, it's not attractive. Okay. And that's what's coming to my mind. I don't know about everybody else, but that's really coming
So
to my mind.
in that statement, very interesting, very on point. Like I love my wife's initial reactions because
So-
she just says what's on her mind. Like I said, she doesn't really research these topics
No.
before we have these discussions. So, what in that statement that you just said in terms of the modern woman chasing her bag and trying to act like a man, right? What is the potential that she's lacking then?
Well, because we've talked about our videos. You so focused in that right now, and like we told you, women, right? You only have a certain time limit that we can get married, produce, and whatever else, right? So if you're, and we talk about truth, right? If you're gonna have a future or lineage, which we, as human beings,
So, what are they lacking then, honey?
fidelity part, and being, and then the nurturing. You're
The-
not
the
having
values,
the values
their
and all
values,
that stuff.
right?
The values. You as feminine, you need that nurturing, the things, times to take care of yourself, so
Okay.
that way you can be
Okay. So
attracted to the other.
no. So,
have men be attracted.
So
to
you're
you.
you're 100% correct, but we're getting ahead of
Oh,
ourselves,
okay.
right?
I'm
You know?
always
no,
doing
you're
that.
great because, like I said, you definitely see the truth, and you definitely kind of, and start really answering. Like I said, you guys, when you guys recognize the truth and see the truth, these answers come really easily,
Yeah.
and you can obviously start really seeing and obviously, being able to convey these answers, really fast, right?
Yeah.
But let's not jump ahead of
Okay.
ourselves, right? Let's
I
give
won't
them.
try to, I won't try to be ahead of myself. Let's give you
let's
some
break
time
it down,
to
right?
sink it in.
Yeah, let's break it down, but let's also give some context, right? Because without, I guess, some understanding, some context, maybe a little bit of backstory,
Okay.
right? It's hard for people to kind of understand the reasons on how we got to this issue, right?
Yeah.
So first things first, let's define potential, because I think once again, a lot of modern people and modern women, especially when it comes to some of these hot topics of the day, we forget what the actual definition of the words are.
Potential is
Right? We've talked about this in past videos, right, guys, where we defined alpha, beta, those terms, right? Values and
Yeah.
power versus preferences, right? right, the truth versus the big lie,
lies,
right?
yep.
And we start, unfortunately, changing the meanings of things, right? Check out our video of the Tower of Babel, right, where we kind of break it down that the powers that be and the government and people that are trying to control you,
Yep.
and people that are lying to themselves as well, right, lying themselves from the truth, they'll change the meanings of things,
Yep.
right? So let's define this potential so that way we can clearly explain why the modern woman or women is lacking it. Okay. So the dictionary defines potential as having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. Okay. And when we talk about this particular topic, honey, what are we talking about? Like, what do they need to develop into the future?
Well, they need to pass down knowledge and everything else into the future in terms of,
but when we talk about men and women's intersectional dynamics, right?
Well, I'm
like
just saying, like, their lineage, their kids.
Yeah.
That's to me like a future thing
Yeah.
for them. If they pass down their knowledge, their know-hows, what things to do,
So when you
and then you pass it down
so
as your
when-
lineage, their kid is your future.
correct. So
they're
when
building that
so
future.
so what does that mean? What do you need? What do you need to develop into to have the kid and then be able to teach?
Well, you have to have a marriage and commitment.
Correct.
And if you don't have marriage and commitment,
And-
because if you don't, you guys, you have to know yourself first. And knowing yourself, you have to learn it step by step. No one knows things right away. Like we're talking about the alpha, the beta, whatever else. It takes you there to be an alpha. So you have to know and learn.
So we'll get
step by
into that in a
step.
second. We'll get into that in a second.
You
But
know?
to define the term that a female, right, a woman needs to become, right? Because we're talking about women lacking this potential today. What do they need to become, like develop into, to be that alpha? What makes them that alpha, right?
Yeah.
We talk about this in past episodes. You'll get it when I say it to
What are
you.
you talking about? What about?
Well, like I said,
values, if that's
we talked about
incorporated into
we talked about how men and women can have these high values,
Yeah.
but
So the
it
women
doesn't
too.
truly make them an alpha until what happens,
it
right?
until they're getting accepted by the other half.
And when you're accepted, what does that make you become?
Then makes you a high value woman. You know?
No, but there's a clear term. There's a clear
Your
term.
Well, it's commitment, honey. What else?
What is on our cups?
Become a mom.
Correct. So you have to become a wife
Uh-huh.
and then become a mom.
Yes.
Right? So you have to develop into this.
Got
right?
it.
Shout out to Kevin Samuels. He says this all the time, right? Like to have a man to choose you to be a wife, you have to be a wife first.
Okay.
Right? You can't just we'll get into this in a second, but a huge thing that unfortunately women, the modern woman, that the RP community, right, the manosphere always talks about is that these women think that they're gonna churn into a mom once they get selected.
No.
Right? They'll be like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna chase my bag. I'm a boss bitch, right? And then when I find the right man, or when I see the right man with potential, and we'll get
Yeah.
that into a second, right? Because they're always looking for a man with potential, right? But once I find that man, then I'll become the wife. Then I'll become the person that I need to become the alpha, right?
Oh.
But it's an ass backwards thinking, right? Like, how do you become that person before you even
Yeah.
took the steps to get to there? Okay, so that's what we're talking about, guys, right? Is that we're talking about that they have to develop into a wife, someone that is wife and motherly worthy.
Well,
right?
and that comes to, you guys don't understand that it works hand in hand. Okay, it's not that you are just accepting. That man has to accept you, women. I mean, they have to be committed to you. You have to inspire them. Okay.
Yep.
The word is inspire.
And we'll get into that in a second, right? So,
Yeah.
so that we just wanted to define the potential first, right? So when we in this particular topic, we're talking about men and women's relationships, right?
Okay.
It's the woman's potential to develop into a wife
Yeah.
or a mom, right? We
Yeah.
got to make that clear, right? Because the modern woman is going to misconstrue that, redefine that term to have more of the potential of like, oh, well, a boss babe, right? I have the potential of making money, or I have the potential of getting fame, right? I can support my kids, but not be a mom. Okay, so there's the distinction that we need to make clear, right? All right, so ladies, okay, you need
Listen
to
to
understand
this part.
that's the potential that we're talking about, okay? And then the second definition of potential that really relates to this topic is that it's the latent, notice it says qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success or usefulness. Possibility of high values. Okay, so what are these qualities or abilities that they're talking about when it comes to this relationship topic?
We already know the value part, the nurturing, all the other stuff. I mean,
Right.
if you watch our other videos, you know,
Okay.
of what to be
That's
feminine.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
So exactly. So you notice how this potential definition, we have to define it. So it's
That's right.
having these values, right? And this is another thing that we're going to get into this video, guys, is that
Yep.
unfortunately the values have been lied to, and the modern woman have unfortunately have misconstrued which values, right, and misunderstood which values they need to bring.
And that's what we're trying to tell you, ladies. Unless you want to turn into those cat women, you know, go
Yeah.
ahead and get your bag, girl.
And that's
you
the
know
reason
what?
why we have those.
Time is ticking.
Yeah.
Time is ticking. It doesn't matter. Just like men too. Okay, you only have a certain time limit too, guys. I mean, you don't want to be a granddad and then have your first child
correct.
either.
And-
I mean,
and-
you need the thing is you need to. If you're going to be a grandpa and then finally you had your child because you know what, you had your fun, you did all that stuff. Supposedly you're trying to, you know, do your thing. But you know what? There's time limits for you guys too.
Yeah, and we'll
Okay,
talk about the
so-
different here. We'll talk about the breakdown because we've kind of talked about this
That's
in
what
a
I was
different
saying.
other video already, where we said we got to settle for the best time. The men and the women have different time frames in,
Yeah.
in terms of which to gather these values.
That's why I said don't
right?
be a grandpa before
Yeah.
you have your first
Well,
child.
it's different. It's different. That's what I'm saying. And we'll break it down a little bit in this video, guys. But check out that other video, Settle on the Best Time, where we kind of clearly define like what's the time frame that a woman needs to work on in terms of gaining the different outcomes that you want, right? So before we get into it, though, as I mentioned earlier, right, the reason why this is such a huge topic, right, is because the modern woman will always say this about someone that they're trying to find, right, but not self-reflect in themselves,
Yeah.
right? So you'll watch all these videos, guys, right, and all these girls, all these young girls especially, but even older women that are still trying to figure it out, right? They're always saying that they want to find someone with potential, right? Or one of their qualities that they want to look for in a man is that he has ambition. Okay, but this is the problem with them not defining it properly, right? When these women or younger girls, right, say that they're trying to find a man with ambition or potential, what are they really saying that they want to find in that man?
What do you think, honey? Ambition means money. Okay,
Correct.
I mean, it doesn't take a rocket
Correct.
science to figure that out. I mean, I understand that, yes, as women, we do want a little bit of stability. We don't want some guy that just, you know, I mean, like, just don't do jack, you know, lazy around and whatever else, you know. We need someone that works hand in hand with us, right? I understand that we need a guy that has to play his roles. And, you know, we talked about roles, right? You know, there's a woman's role and there's a man's role, you know. So I don't find fault in that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, there's just...
See, this is the problem, though, right? So they're trying to find the potential in that, right? Like, oh, there's going to be hopefully this person that can, you know, get it, right? Hopefully, maybe if I stay around enough, if I stick around enough, and maybe if I, you know, combine our forces together, right? Then we can work on together and get this finance and get this fame, right? But this is the other problem. We'll get into that in a second in terms of those values, those power of the men that they're supposed to bring into the table, right? But what is the one value that they don't want to see potential in?
The value they don't want to see
Yeah.
potential in.
This is the problem with these women that clearly say, so I just want to find a man with ambition. And I want somebody with potential, right? They want the potential and the ambition for
Or
finance
the
and
fitness
fame.
part?
Yes.
I would think so. I mean,
Yes.
that's the only one I can think of that some people.
And do they want it now, or are they willing to work with the man to get it
no,
later?
they're gonna work with them. I mean, they're.
No, that's the problem. That's
No.
the problem. No, the modern
I've
woman.
seen people who just married somebody for their money and they didn't look out of shape, whatever, honey.
That-
They just worked with it
No,
because they want the money.
That
still.
those are the ones that obviously are trying to use those men.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's a different video altogether,
okay.
right? Those are what we would consider the terms of like gold diggers or clout
okay.
chasers, right? But when we talk about the modern single female, that's always complaining about how there's not enough good men out there, right? The majority of female who are single and alone, right?
Yeah, but
they're looking for a man that has ambition for finance and fame.
Well, you're not going to get all that, woman. I'm telling you that right now. You know, you're not going to get all the full package of the, you know, your whole thing.
And we've
you
talked
know.
about this in another
It's not
video,
gonna
right?
happen.
We talked about this in another video where
No.
unfortunately the 10 versus 90 video, right?
Mm-hmm.
The women are wanting that fitness value now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys? And this is a good lesson for men that's watching this video too, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to change this, right? women are hypergamous by nature, right?
Yep.
And so they want the best, or they're always looking for a superior,
Yep.
right? So women obviously want this fitness value right away, right? They want that 6 foot tall. They want the in shape, the six pack.
And we already told you guys,
So
there's
men-
only about 2% plus that's 6 foot tall people.
Correct.
6 feet tall.
6'2" and taller was less than 4%, right?
Yeah.
And now that's talking about, are you good looking? Are you actually in shape, right? Are you the ethnicity that this woman is looking for? Are you gay or are you straight, right? There's so many other factors that makes you actually a qualified mate, right? But anyways, it's a low percentage, right? So yes, it's kind of a shout out to women to, like, I'm not saying lower
Wake
your
up.
standards, but be more realistic. But it's also a call out to men that we've said this about in so many different videos, right? This is the one value of men, right, that we always seem to gloss over, right? We always seem to, like, not really put an emphasis on it, right?
Yeah.
It's like we concern ourselves with the finance and the fame, but we don't
Do the
concern ourselves
fitness.
with the fitness, right?
You got to be healthy, guys. I mean, if you're not healthy, vice versa, women too. If you're not staying healthy or fit, whatever else, how you're gonna, take care of your,
Yeah,
things
well, we'll get
around
into
you.
that in a second, right? In
know?
terms of why the women are lacking these potentials, right? Because those are the values of the woman that you're talking about, right? But just to redefine, right? So the modern women, right? They're looking for this high potential man themselves, right? And the reason why I wanted to state that is because we're going to talk about why the woman, the modern woman, is lacking potential,
Okay.
but yet they want to see these potentials in a man, right? And then also we'll talk about why it's kind of they're looking for their false potentials in themselves, right? So the man is supposed to bring finance and fame and have fitness, right? And so the modern woman, the ideal man for them right now is a young man, right? Maybe in his mid 20s to early 30s,
yeah.
right? Who's in really good shape, who's super tall, and who doesn't really has their finance and fame yet,
Yeah.
but has the probability,
Really
right? They
getting
can
there.
see. Look at Brittany Renner and PJ Washington, right?
There we go with
Hence why all these women are looking for this same man,
Yeah,
right?
but they didn't see their truth. Look, are they committed together? Are they staying together? All she saw is the money, and she's like, okay, well, I got my thing,
Correct.
and I'm out. Bounce.
And why?
And this is what you guys
very-
need to all you guys need to wake up. Okay?
Yeah, well, very good transition, honey. And wake up. You just said wake up, and wake up to what? So,
Wake up to the truth, reality.
Bam.
Wake
Bam.
up to the
Okay.
truth and reality, people. I mean, think about it. What is the best outcome for your child? It's not a best outcome. You women out there thinking, okay, let's be get your bags. Let's get this guy that has the money, whatever else. You felt that love. You acted like you loved the guy, but you in your mind already knew that you're only there for the money. You're not truly in love with him. You guys didn't try to make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, now look at your all that other stuff that's going on.
Okay, well, stop. I want to define what you just said, right? It's okay, ladies, to look for these values because if the man brings those values to the table, it does give you a better outcome for your child.
Yes.
But therein lies the key point.
But that's what I
You need to be looking for it for the purpose of the best outcome for your child
That's
and
what I
not
said.
yourself.
committed.
Okay,
You
and so
know?
that's what you mean by love, right, honey? Because
Yeah.
you want those values from the man for yourself and not for the purpose of your children or the best outcome for your children, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a huge one. Okay. All right. So the truth, right? You guys need to recognize the truth and obviously find the values for the truth. Okay, and this video, I don't want to make it about all the values, guys, and the powers again,
No.
right? So go check out those other videos, right? What a woman brings to the table, what a man brings, what is a high value man, right?
Yeah.
But why? Let's do a little bit of history lesson, honey. But why is the modern woman lacking this potential? Why? What modern society?
Because our modern society.
Okay,
Like
and-
right now, the society, the media is influencing.
Yeah, but what
the
happened?
government.
What happened in the recent history, right? Because this is a fairly recent thing, right? But what happened and we've talked about this in other videos, guys. What happened recently? We taled about it in, is
The
marriage
movement.
dead? Yeah. So what's the movement?
Was it the? I mean, there's a lot of movements, honey.
The feminism movement.
Feminism movement
Yeah.
and all the other
And
stuff, and then all the everything else. I don't want to mention, the colorful rainbows, whatever, everything's
No,
circled
but
around.
let's talk about just women specifically, right? I know you're talking about like the
Everything else.
LGBTQ and all those
Everything else
things.
influence
but
everything.
We're talking about feminism, and to put to your point, we're talking about equality, right? So now everyone has the equal rights, to those type of stuff. Which, guys, we've said this on there. We're not against that.
We're not against that equality thing.
But with every action, there's an opposite equal reaction, right? So, it had good intentions. It definitely has good intentions, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't directly doing it proper way, the way that.
Because why? What's the proper way again? I want to reiterate it again.
Because they're not showing the woman. Yes, you have the equality to do the work thing, but then they're showing them to be like a man.
Yeah.
Having less
and you said
responsibilities.
You said it earlier.
And our accountabilities for their
correct,
action.
But you said it earlier. What is the problem? It starts with a good intention, right? Because guys, it's always about power. It's always about power, and we talk about the 6 powers, right? Women bring fitness, femininity, fidelity. Men bring fitness, finance, and fame. So there's these 6 powers. There's these 6 powers, right? And it's always about power. So with the equality and with the feminism movement, okay, which I'm saying is not a bad thing. Women deserve equality. I'm not saying that. But with that decision to do it, they lied to the women by saying that you want to go get the powers of the man.
Yeah.
In exchange and in unfortunately in exchange and also in a loss of what though? This is the problem.
Virginity. Femininity.
So what? Virginity, femininity.
Yeah,
what else? In exchange for what then? You're trying to be a man, just like you said. You're trying to gain these men's values and men's powers at a cost of what?
In a way, somewhat of your freedom.
Yes, but mainly what? What are you exchanging as a woman to go gain the values of the men and the powers of the men?
Our values.
Bam. Yes. Your values, your power. Okay. That is the problem, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. It was okay to say, hey, you're free, women. You have all the choices. You have all the freedom to make whatever choices you are in the world,
but then
right?
We will control your values in a way.
But we're going to tell you what makes you valuable
and what not.
And what makes you not valuable. And unfortunately, they have lied to you, and you've drank the Kool-Aid, and you've been lied to and thinking now that the modern woman, because this is a topic really about modern women, right? After this post-equality, post-feminism movement, right? You guys are chasing the men's values. And unfortunately, the cost of it is you are losing your powers, right? That's the reason why there's no more femininity. There's a reason why there's no more fidelity, right? And really why, too? It's because the truth, the lack of truth, right? Because it's about, like you said, control and power. It's always to control the truth, guys. And the powers are all these values that relate to the truth. And we already told you
on our other videos, guys, I mean, there's only small percentage, like 2% of people, government, kings, whatever else, that controls the family, okay? We are billions of people here. Our civilians are billions. And here you're letting these small amount of people control our lives. Okay, I understand we need some kind of guidance, things like that. But you guys have to know what's right and wrong. Think, you guys. Think. What is right and wrong? And you're letting your freedom be taken away when people fight for freedom. And, I don't want to say it, but if things are starting to go at this route, we will see another war coming soon. And that's among ourselves.
Yeah.
Among ourselves, as civilians, we're fighting each other because you guys wanted to have these small percentage of government control you. And then once later on, government's like, here, I'm going to take this away, I'm going to take that away. The people that actually know the truth will start fighting against the people who aren't awake to the truth. And that's a sad thing, and I hope we do not see it during our time. Because that's a sad thing right now. You see a little bit right now happening in the U.S. I don't know, and then you see some happening in different places.
No, you're seeing it a lot.
A lot of places
You're seeing it
right
a lot.
Now.
It's just that the problem is we're still blinded to it.
Yeah, and you're still blinded to it. And then well, I don't want to go further on this, or else we're going to be off topic.
Yeah,
But
all the stats show it, guys. As much as you guys want to talk, right? We talk about how the top 20% of men, right, are having sex with all the women, right? We talk about how we have the lowest marriage rates. We talk about how we have the lowest birth rates, right? We have the highest divorce rates, right? We talk about how
we see it around the world right now.
Yeah, we talk about
A
how
lot of
women
people.
aren't women anymore,
No.
right? You guys have lost your femininity, you've lost your fidelity. We
Yeah.
talk about how men aren't men anymore, right?
Mhm.
We're effeminate men. We're freaking low. We're all low values, right?
Yeah.
We're being told to like get into our feelings more, right?
Go look at it in Japan. Look at
Correct.
it's decreasing in marriage and kids. They don't want to have kids. Go look in Korea. Go look around the world and see the statistic of their population. Is there an increase in it? No, there isn't, because people. I'm sorry to say, if a woman is acting like a man, how is a man gonna want to sacrifice and work hard or be inspired to be attracted to supposedly another man? That's and you're just gonna be like bickering and fighting all the time. You can't be attracted to that. I'm sorry to say. That's why I always tell you there's a woman's role and there's a man's role. So look at our videos on values for a man and values for a woman. Okay, and if you see that, you'll wake up, guys. And we need to correct this, or else you're just going to the wrong path. We're trying to work together here, and when we don't have an increase of population, guys, guess what? There's going to be a decrease of scientists, all the stuff that makes us smarter and like continue our lineage and create more of the the future will start decreasing. And what do we got left?
Yeah. Well,
no one to help you out anymore.
my point is you're not going to have any free thought, right?
No.
Because you're going to be just controlled. The more you just buy into this system, right? Because it is a system. There's a system that's developing around you, right? You want to call it the matrix, right? You want to call it whatever these terms, right? But there's a system that's getting developed around you, and you guys are literally just feeding and being part of that.
Well, you're
system.
wired in. Aren't we wired in
Correct.
right now? We're wired in right now. It's like the Matrix in a way. It's like you're wired in right now with all these medias, publicities, all this stuff that's being sent out. People tweak things on videos, internet, all that stuff. They don't want to bring out the truth, because people don't want to hear the truth sometimes, because people think, okay, truth hurts. or whatever else.
It's not even that. The truth doesn't gain them power.
Yeah.
Right? The truth doesn't gain the powers that those people want to gain. Right. The finance and the fame and the status. Right. So that's really the thing. That, they're not going to try to break you free from it.
No.
We talked about that in another video. Right. They're going to give you the minimum basic necessities.
Well, what do you
right?
think with that minimal basic necessities? We already told you they're already controlling this and that, whatever else. What next? They're going to control your air when it's supposed to be free. Look at
Correct.
the water. Look at all this other land. Land before was free. Now land is controlled by either government or individuals who are buying it up.
Yeah.
This is Mother Nature, guys. It's not something that supposedly but now it's similar to that. Now they're controlling this or controlling that, electricity, water, heater, whatever else. You can't even go out there and burn your own little wood, or else you get fined. That's controlled. So we are controlled people, and now you're letting them control even more of yourself.
So very, we kind of went on a rant there because all of that is true, right? But this is the hard question, honey. This is really a hard question, right?
It is.
Clearly, modern women lack potential. And when we mean lack potential, guys and ladies, pay attention. You guys are lacking your true powers, right? We talk about it. It's your fitness, right?
Yep.
We talk about this in another video, right? What's the average weight of modern women now? The height hasn't changed, right? Let's break it down. Let's break it down from a statistical, objective standpoint, right? You guys are 5'4". You guys are 174 pounds, right? Only like 30, 40 years ago, in the 60s and the 50s, the average weight of women was like 130. So you guys have gained like 44 pounds in the last 30, 40 years, okay? Men don't want that. We know that. Men have shown it. We don't want that. Okay.
No, and the thing is, it's not, and then yes, people are going to debunk us, there's one for everybody else, but we're not trying to say that, okay? I understand.
No, that's just a nice statement, honey.
I know, but people are going to try to debunk us on that because they don't want to face reality. But the thing is, women, when we increase in weight, it's harder for you, if you want to start a family, to actually have kids. And the birth and whatever else. Your health is not going to be, you're not going to be as healthy because, giving birth, you guys, whoever's been parents or been moms, whatever, it's not an easy thing. People have died. People got hurt. People had it. It's a lot of craziness.
Yeah, we've talked about this in pointless videos, so I don't want to rant into it too much. I don't want to break it down. But I'm just
being healthy is important.
Correct. I just want to break it basically down the lack of potential, right? Because we want to answer this question: what potential you're lacking? And to reiterate, right, your fitness value is low because you've gained weight significantly, which makes you less sexually attractive to the man. And what do we talk about when you don't work out and you don't have a good self-esteem about you, honey?
Well, you're gonna be depressed.
Your mental health.
It's
that value is part about fitness too, right? Your own self-reflection of your self-image, right, and your self-confidence, right? So that's the first value of fitness. They're lacking, right? Femininity. Yeah. Are women even feminine anymore?
Yeah, you gotta be nurturing, caring, and all that thing,
right.
And then how are you gonna carry that on?
Right. So we talked about the 3 qualities, right? There's kindness, caring, right? Nurturing, cooperating, right? And that leads to what?
Well, that leads you to being a mom,
No, it leads to inspiration,
to
right?
The man.
We've talked about that many times. But
once you're inspired to the man, then he has commitment to you.
Correct.
Wants to marry you, and then you become a mom, of course, and then
So we're going it over really quick, guys, because I don't want to make this video about the women's values, but it is about these values that you guys are lacking, because it's this potential that we keep talking about that you guys lack, right?
Values equal the what you'd lack.
Fitness, right, and femininity, and then lastly, let's be honest, fidelity. Do any of you guys have a potential of fidelity nowadays? I mean, let's be honest, right? Every current modern woman is told to go sleep around, right? Be like a man, have as much sex partners as possible, right? Right? Don't retain that power that you have, right? That value that you're born with, that all women are born with, right? But literally go lose that power.
Women, and that's your upper hand. That is like one of the most valuable seeked after from a man. So why do you want to give it to just people that aren't valuable to you? Like, you're not seeing them as your potential future, a person that you want to be committed, sacrifice to. Why you want to just give it around, and man, wake up. Don't expect this could be your daughter, your sister, whoever else. Why would you just want to have another man just have them give it up to? And then later you're going to be like, well, I don't want her really because she's giving it up, because you're the one who's asking for it. Okay, and you women, like I've already said to you, remember, honey, that hashtag vagina discipline and hashtag men dick discipline. You guys need that, because you don't want women that's been sleeping around, but then don't ask for them to freaking give it up first time that you meet them. Then that's stupid. That's like a dumb thing to say. And then women, same thing. If you're not going to care for this man as potential and he doesn't put a damn ring on your finger and you're not walking, like have a wedding, don't give it up.
Yeah.
Because that's your valuable asset that people, if you look at the wars and everything else and the queens and the princess, this is what these people are fighting each other for. And here you're just giving it up for free for a person you don't even care or committed to. And that's what gets me upset. It's like, take care of yourself. Value yourself.
Yeah.
You're valuable, women. You are valuable.
So
Wake up.
So how do we correct this? Everything my wife just went on there is correct, right? But how do we correct this, right? Because we can't take equality back from women.
No.
Right? We're not going to.
The woman and the man needs to wake up, and that's how you do it. You guys need to wake up and play your roles. Know how valuable you are in your roles. A man, you guys know what you have to do. We've talked about it, right? Have your fitness in line. Have your finance in line. Okay? Have your clout. Know who you are. Women, you have your values.
But for what, honey?
Same thing. Because for the truth.
Yes.
You need to build that
there
truth.
You go.
Okay?
That's right.
And that's the key thing. Okay?
So,
and I don't want to rant over it.
Okay,
but
so
wake up.
No, you're 100%. So to end this video, let's give them some advice, right?
Okay.
How do we do that, right?
Let's go, honey.
Right?
You do it.
With young women, right? With young women, how are the young women going to turn around? How are they going to turn around this, right? Like you said, right? It's the older.
Stop listening to the BS out there on the videos and media and value yourself, women.
That's one.
That's one.
Yeah. But the older generation, ladies, the older generation of women, you guys need to recognize the truth and start changing and obviously start teaching the younger generation the truth.
And
right?
and you know what? We're not talking about age or whatever, okay? It doesn't matter. No matter who it is, no matter how young or whatever old they are, there's no time of stop learning, okay? Learn now. and that we can pass it down generation to generation and correct things. If not, trust me, guys, your freedom will be depleted. You're going to be that robot that people are just going to feed to. And, you know, if you watch,
you're going to be single and alone. You're like my wife said, be the cat lady, be the dog lady, be part of the system, right? Be employed by the state or the government or some big corp.
You know, you guys aren't
and then you pretty much just die.
Yeah, you don't think it for yourself, and then you wonder why you're so depressed. You wonder why you don't have a man. You don't wonder why you don't pick the right person, because you guys aren't value yourself. You don't know your truth.
Yeah. Women, you talked about this earlier, right? With like societies like in Japan or Korea, they're literally finding old people who are single, literally just dead. In their rooms, in their apartments,
and
in
if
their
you don't
houses.
believe us, go YouTube it. Go Google all the things happening around. We've watched it all, and it's so sad. People are dying alone. Okay, people are, because you know why? Think about it. You have that. There's people right now are less nurturing, less caring. They're all about me, because that's what media is showing them. Crap, things like this. You know, hey, girls, go get your bag. Hey, boys, do this. People aren't trying to get, you know, they don't know the truth. They don't have the commitment anymore. And they are committed to each other. It's basically, hey, let's just have sex. Don't worry about the future. Don't give it the rat's ass in the world, because you know what? Don't worry. The system is taking care of us.
Correct. They're giving us their basic needs at the cost of our freedom, at the cost of our values, at the cost of our power.
And I'm sorry to say, we're going to be enslaved to the system. We're going to be slave to the system. I don't want to say enslaved, but I meant slave to the system. And what is slavery? We all know what that is. Taking your freedom away. Do you want to be a slave to the system and have no freedom? Well, that's where it's going to come into. Mark my words.
Yep. Or we're going to fight and people are going to die.
There's going to be a war.
Right. There's going to be violence, right? Because that's the only way you fight back from tyranny.
And I had one of the dreams. I've already told you, honey. I had a dream, okay? At least, I'd say 3 to 5 years in that line right now. There's going to be some kind of like really bad stuff going to be happening in our world right now, because people are just not really trying to wake up and see the truth. We're going to be tiered between the system and civilians. We're fighting.
Yeah, there's going to be a breaking point. We can kind of already see it.
That coming. And I saw partial war in my dreams. That's coming right now. But it was in my dreams, so don't mark my word. But I'm telling you that right now. If we do not correct ourselves right now, people, there's more negative than positive coming.
Yeah. So that's a warning, guys. Obviously, this is a warning. I mean, I know it was kind of it seemed like a small topic, right? Just the modern woman lack potentials. But you can see that this lack of your guys' power, what it leads to.
Yep.
This
destruction of yourself. That's what you're.
Well, destruction of everyone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
When you destruct yourself, of course you're destructing everyone.
When half of the values is gone, we cannot have the complete picture.
What is that? That domino effect? You know how the dominoes boom, boom, boom fall. You know how like when they're standing up and boom, now one falls, boom, boom. Yeah. It's like boom. Everybody's gonna fall down if you don't work together and stand up straight and be strong. Correct. So great
video, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank
right,
you.
All right. Check us out next time. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.